Good day, everyone. Today I'm going to tackle the other scientific revolution, which are the Middle East, Africa, and India. So first, let's tackle the Middle East. So Middle East are the countries that are dominantly occupied by Muslims. And also, in 7th to 8th centuries, the scholarship period started, which is called the Golden Age of Islam, and lasted until 13th century. Their proximity to India provide their scholar knowledge paved the way for innovation and new ideas. So their relationship with India allowed them to be more creative and to be able to make innovation. Common language of Arabic, access to Greek texts from the Byzantine Empire. So the Muslim scholarship studied the Greek text through translation during the Islamic Golden Age, enabled them to make innovation and new ideas. So they use experiments to distinguish between competing scientific theories set within a generally empirical orientation. It means direct observation, sensory experience rather than solely relying to theories. They provide empirical evidence. Country na Middle East ay bright jud kaayo di ay sila kay they even have scholarship niya. Ang naa sa mga adto nga scholar kay mga bright jud kay sila. Ibn al-Haytham was the first person to test hypotheses with verifiable experiments developing the scientific method. Also nicknamed as Ptolemy Secundus or Ptolemy II because of his contribution in astronomy. He is regarded as the father of modern optics. So he was the one who invented camera obscura. So Haytham made a promise to the ruler of Egypt that he'd built a dam into the Nile River to stop the catastrophic floods. But the problem is he never been into the Nile River. And then when he got there, he was so shocked to see how big the Nile River. And the ruler of Egypt is known for its killing or banishing things or people that he doesn't like. So instead of so Haytham chose to be in prison than losing his head. So during his imprisoned in the dark room with a small hole in the dark room, and then there he write the book called Kitab al-Manazir, or the Book of Optics. In the book, it states the laws of reflecting and refraction in details. Ibn Haytham was the first to correctly explain the theory of vision. So the next one is Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi. He was born in 800 CE. He lived in Baghdad when he worked at the House of Wisdom. So House of Wisdom is like a library. It is a leading center with the various branches of study like mathematics, astronomy, medicine, alchemy, chemistry, zoology, geography, and cartography. He gave his name to concept the algorithm, while the term algebra is derived from al-jar, the beginning of the title of his publications, what is now known as the Arabic numeral system. So Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi wrote three textbooks. So Al-Khwarizmi published three major texts which changed the word. So first is the original title where we get the word algebra. And the next one is Algometri de Numerorum. His name in Latin got a algorithm, and he named it to his textbooks. The third one is the image of the earth, that it correct and improve of Ptolemy's geography. Ibn Hayyan, he is considered to the father of Arabic chemistry. So some scholars considered Hayyan as the father of chemistry. He was the first person to introduce the experimental method in chemistry, so he contributed to the field of discovering essential chemical compounds like sulfuric, nitric acids, and developed techniques such as distillation and crystallization. And lastly, we had Ibn Sina, pioneer design of experimental medicine and conduct clinical trial according to Jockert 2008. So he wrote a book entitled The Book of Healing and the Canon of Medicine, which is used as standard medical text in both Muslim and Europe during the 17th century. According to Craig and Walter 2000, he discovered the contagious nature of infectious diseases and the introduction of clinical pharmacology. The development of science in Africa. So Africa is a country blessed with mineral resources. So Africa is so big and was so blessed with the mineral resources. So also science exists long before the Europeans colonized Africa. So early civilization in Africa were knowledge producer too. The ancient Egyptian civilization has contributed immensely, made significant advances in the fields of astronomy, mathematics, and medicine. So the product of necessity to preserve the layout and ownership of farmlands of the Egyptian living along the Nile River. The rules of geometry well developed and used to build rectilinear structures. The pose of length architecture of Egypt. These early science activities in Egypt were developed to improve the quality of life of the Egyptian, especially in building their early home and cities. So the structure of the Egyptians pyramid and early dams built to divert water from Nile River are some proofs to their advanced civilization. Each year, the water would slowly rise up to the hill and then recede and leave rich fertile soil in the wake. Farmers would grow their vegetables and grains in these floodplains before the next annual flood. Egypt was known to be a center of alchemy, which is known as the medieval forerunner of chemistry. They tried to study human anatomy and pharmacology and applied important components such as examination, diagnosis, treatment, and prognosis for the treatment of diseases. These components displayed strong parallel to the basic empirical method of studying science. Astronomy was also famous in the African region. For instance, documents will show that Africans used three types of calendar, which are lunar, solar, and stellar, or a combination of three. So Egyptian though tried to study the human anatomy and pharmacology and applied important components such as examination, diagnosis, treatment, and